few days ago, I went to meditate in this park I'd never been to. Naturally, the moment I closed my eyes, I was assaulted by immense worry about all the uncertain things in my life I was thinking about on that day. I had just copped a speeding fine, was worried about how recovery from a broken toe would impact my fitness, or the scarier topic of where my life was going and how I compared to others my age. Then I remembered the classic advice: worry about the future is futile, since most of our worries either never come to pass, or in hindsight, we end up being far more capable of overcoming them than we expected. But if you've lived with intense anxiety, you'll know that despite making a ton of sense, this doesn't help at all. The way our brains are wired, we can't help spending most of our lives in anticipation of agonizing possibilities, even though we know, logically, that it's just making us miserable, right? Well, as I meditated, I really dwelled on this generic advice. One by one, I applied it to my problems that were so anxiety-inducing that just thinking about them sent pain, cold sweats, and random jitters arcing through my body. Yeah, the fine sucked. It was humiliating, embarrassing, and very annoying. But it would soon be paid, providing me a valuable lesson about carelessness on the road, and I will quickly forget this fumble ever happened. In the view of my lifetime, 6 weeks of no leg day would be so insignificant, it's laughable I even gave the so-called problem one instant of my focus. Just because I took a year off after finishing high school to meditate and make shitty YouTube videos while my friends are off at uni, doesn't mean I'm lost. Maybe future me will reflect on this time, overflowing with gratitude that I took the time to figure out what I'm really meant to do with my life, instead of selling out to a safe but mediocre existence. Holy crap, why is this actually working? No new information, no crazy guide on how to cure overthinking in 5 easy steps. I just took the time to process. Mind you, I've been grappling with anxiety for countless years, applied a myriad of mindsets and medications, and always ended up utterly exhausted, believing I was doomed to play out this cruel cycle for the remainder of my life. No answer, no matter how sophisticated or glamorized, from psychiatrist to teacher to YouTube guru, has ever made things easier. And here I was, sitting in this park, simply facing and dwelling on my anxieties, feeling lighter and more joyful than I had in years. I want to share with you the simple insight I gained from this experience. The underlying source of much of the neuroticism we suffer is not a lack of information, but information itself. I know this sounds kind of silly, but I really hope that you at least hear me out. Or don't. Stay miserable, I guess. Let me explain. With the onset of the internet, more so than ever before, human minds are overloaded with obscene amounts of information, far surpassing the capacity they evolved for. Like a computer with specs not suited for the application it's running, there's little processing power to interpret, categorize, and internalize info. It crashes. This could be one of the core reasons for the widespread overwhelm, anxiety, depression, and nervous breakdowns of our time. In developmental psychology, a schema describes a framework created to make sense of and synthesize vast amounts of new information. You can think about it this way. When you saw an apple for the first time, your brain registered a lot of information: its color, size, shape, and so on. After you saw many apples, your brain summarized information under the banner apple. Now, when you see an apple, your brain quickly accesses the model instead of the mass amounts of raw information, speeding up function and allowing you to go about the piles of concepts in your day without a meltdown. As a kid, you needed to spend huge amounts of time just thinking about things to make sense of the world and build these schemas. As an adult, while the experiences aren't as novel or new, there is still a huge volume of them. And unlike childhood, we have no downtime to think about them. This means no schemas and a gigantic, chaotic, inefficient mess in your head, tripping you up whether you realize it or not. This is why I think you can watch hundreds of videos on how to get out of depression, how to conquer anxiety, how to cure overthinking, and still end up back here. You already have all the knowledge of what to do. You've probably had it for years, if not decades. More information is not what you need. Despite easy access to every model and technique for combating neuroses, we are unable to actually internalize and utilize them because the information has not been processed. So how do you actually process? The rule is, if the volume of new information is reduced, and the time allotted for processing information is increased, breakdown symptoms can be reduced. Simply, do less, think more. You're consuming too much. Tens of videos a day, hundreds if you consume short-form content, all on different topics, showcasing 100 different lives from 100 different places. If you're a student, spend time learning, or have a job that's intellectually challenging or filled with novel experiences, that's even more information. I'm not suggesting you need to quit your job or degree to lead a joyful life. What I'm arguing for is taking the time to refine your intakes. Ask yourself, what do I actually want to be intaking in my day? If you've never thought about this, here's an activity. In the morning, write down all the intakes of information you want from your day. This can be work, school, clubs, sporting sessions, books, hobbies, movies, and so on. Then in the evening, write all the events you actually took in. The more specific, the better. For example, write exactly which videos you watched in your late afternoon YouTube binge. Compare the two lists and place a plus or minus next to the actual activities, depending on whether they aligned with your desire. Chances are you didn't have an intention to intake Eddie Hall bench pressing 4 girls when you observed your desires for the day. Real example from my YouTube history, by the way. It's not that these unintentional intakes are all bad. Many are educational, highly enjoyable, and beneficial in modest quantities. But there's just too much noise. Comparing your intentions to your actions over time can help you slowly move away from excessive intakes of information you gravitate to in boredom, or to avoid processing hard feelings and escape. Refine and reduce intakes until only what really matters to you is left. All of a sudden, you have all this time freed. 1 hour scrolling shorts, 20 minutes of random newsletters in your mailbox, or even hours spent at an educational class or hobby that you didn't actually care about. Use this free time for practices that process experiences, thoughts, and anticipations. My go-to is a simple breathing meditation, with an emphasis on dwelling on worries that arise, letting them express themselves, then letting them go. Even starting by taking a minute or two to sit or lay on your floor and just think about what you're thinking is a huge step in the right direction. Seriously, try it once you've finished watching this video. I'm almost certain you'll feel at least a little bit better. If you choose a meditation practice and develop the skill of sitting and observing your thoughts, you'll quickly be surprised by what surfaces. People you didn't know you remembered, subconscious traumas and thought loops you didn't realize were sapping your energy for years. Recent events you thought were mundane, but on closer inspection held important wisdom. You will likely find there are years, if not decades, of unprocessed memories begging to be evaluated, have their lessons extracted and sorted away. Like a room that has never been cleaned, you have a lot of work to do. Despite being insanely simple, actually living this way is very, very hard. Our environments are geared towards distraction, and Western society is optimized to maximize the amount of time you spend consuming. The world in its current form doesn't want you to be joyful.
In this world,
meditation and other psyche processing activities, which require you to sit still with your thoughts, are insanely difficult for most people. The name of the game is consistency over time. Meditation can produce noticeable benefits early on, though it's important to keep in mind that many of its more powerful aspects take years to become proficient at and a lifetime to master. This video will not provide an actionable guide for implementing this philosophy, because most of you don't need more information, just time to process, remember? You need to rewire your brain to stop scrambling for information. It's your jailer, not your savior. There are only 2 resources I think are helpful for some of the less informed of you. If you don't know how to build the habit of meditation, or another processing technique, pick up a copy of Atomic Habits, the cult classic book for building any kind of habit. If you don't know where to start with mindfulness, I highly recommend downloading the Medito app for guided meditations. They have courses on there that are designed to help you build the ability to sit and observe thoughts. Everything else is in you, just waiting to be uncovered. As this video winds down to a close, I just wanted to mention that everything stated is just an idea of mine, and if you disagree with anything I've said, want to add your insight, or want to start a discussion, I would be very grateful if you left your comment below and I'll reply as soon as I can. This is the point where I'd usually tell you to watch another one of my videos. While those may be valuable to you, I genuinely want you to be happier by consuming less and processing more, so please don't click to another one of my videos, or anyone else's for that matter. Just take some time to sit and think.